This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Iron Factory Girls 01, known as Starwing. This has been something that I ordered, I think, probably more than 5 years ago, and it finally now came out, which is surprising because Iron Factory does put out a lot of third-party stuff. Let's see if we can get a better look at the figure here inside the package. But yeah, this would be a humanoid girl version of Starscream. And I thought this was going to start a new line of them, but that was back 5 years ago, and I'm not sure why it took so long to actually get this out. But let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging so far. On the side, we get a nice little picture of her, mostly full-bodied. On the back, again, we see her with her equipment all intact, and there's a little image back there with her not having like the wings and such on her, so we'll see how that goes. We get some more views of her posing in different ways. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen Starscream do that pose, but... And on the top, we do get one other image of her where she's got her guns, or her neuron blasters, I think is what Starscream had, kind of off to the side. Since they're not actually attached to her arms, but onto some additional pylons of some sort. So along with the basic figure, we get 2 additional heads. So let's go ahead and pull her out. See if we can get her to stand up. Pop out the 2 extra heads here real quick. Set that aside. Oh man, it looks like we got 2 more heads in here too, potentially. So we have a little packet with some extra and I apparently don't know how to work a zipper bag. Oh, I'm not sure what this piece is for as of yet. Okay, and these apparently are 2 blank heads that you could perhaps paint yourself if you wanted. And of course, we have a whole bunch of extra hands. And these things are tiny. Put all that stuff off to the side. We also have a instruction booklet. That also comes with a sheet of decal eyes for the extra heads that we were given. Different kind of expressions. I am terrible with water decals, so I'm not sure I would actually use those. And we have even more decals. And here we have the instructions on where the different decals would go. I'm not going to lie, I don't honestly see myself actually putting any of these decals on because I hate dealing with those things. But there are a lot of cute ones too. And of course, we have a quick look at the different bits of articulation and so forth. And it looks like this one piece here was just an extra bit to use for a generic stand or universal stand sold separately. So that kind of sucks, to be perfectly honest. But let's go ahead and take a look at our figure here. It's got like Starscream's little shoulder bits up here as hair ornaments. We've got the standard wings. We got the neuroblasters here in the back. This kind of reminds me, the back of her reminds me a little bit more of Skyfire or Jetfire, however you want to call him, than it does Starscream, though. Articulation wise, the head is on a ball joint, so we can have her turn all the way around to look. She can look down and she can look up. She also has a set of pigtails on the back, which, not gonna lie, when I move her, I want to keep my fingers away from that because I'm afraid they're gonna break off. We'll also be able to switch out the face plates here too, but we'll do that a little bit later. Her arms have a hinge to go up and down. It appears to be a double ball joint, so you can also kind of rotate it a little bit like that. But also, obviously, we can spin the entire arm. Though it is hindered by her backpack in this form, but as we saw on the back, we should be able to pull that out easily enough later. Single joint at the elbow. Gives us a better than 90-degree angle, however. Probably so that they can try to do the cute poses. We have a boob cut that allows us to spin her around, and we can do a 360 with that, as well as move it around all over. So it is most likely a ball joint up there that allows for that kind of posability. You can start doing some of those more interesting poses with the body. This, I'm just going to call it a panty, is very loose. These side pieces, it's like it is like a panty, and then these other parts are just kind of connected to it, so they are separate, but, glued on, I guess, because they don't come off. They do move a little bit, though. For the legs, we'll start with this, that we do have a thigh cut here at the, thigh. We can hinge out a little bit, but it is hindered by the extra bits on the panty. We can go ahead and kick forward about yay far, and we can kick back a little bit. Again, this is kind of hindered by her, at the moment it's hindered by her backpack, but I anticipate that it still wouldn't go that much further because of the underwear. She does have a double jointed knee, so we get a nice bit of articulation there. So we might be able to do our cute girl pose with this figure. The feet have a hinge. Well, actually, the feet have a ball joint, so you can kind of spin the foot around a little bit and act like a oh crap, I don't remember what it's called, what people call it. But anyway, you can also articulate the foot sideways a little bit to help with posing, because they did leave a little bit of space here for the ball joint to move over. Now her backpack is supposed to come off. Somehow. But, alright, well, we'll come back to that in a moment. I'm going to relook at the directions. But anyway, you can swap her backpack up like this if you want. That gives us a little bit of extra clearance here for some things. And it can hinge back down. And as mentioned before, the blasters are actually attached to armatures, which there is a hinge up here, as well as a ball joint, a double hinge here, and then a single hinge at the backpack. This is very, very Azur Lane, actually, when you think about it. Real problem is I can't quite figure out how to get the backpack off, even though the instructions when we looked at them show the backpack coming off because you need to take it off to do. There we go. And I took her arm with it. Okay. So her backpack is on there with just a pretty standard tab. Slightly designed. There's a slight design to it in order to make sure you put it in the right way. But yeah, so, and again, you can kind of see that panty a little bit better here on the back. Without that, though, we can now get good clearance with her arm spinning it around. And we can get a little bit more of that back kick that we couldn't get previously. And actually, I think we're getting the front kick a little bit better. I think probably because that the backpack wasn't interfering with any of the other stuff. We get a better look at the joints here. So, yeah. Her hands do pull out really easy. Let's take a quick look here at her backpack. So this is her weaponry and her wings. Her wings also can spin around. So if you want them facing this way on her back instead, or let's see. We fold it like this, we have now created a little drone for her. So our Star Wing can go ahead and use this as an attack weapon. So let's go ahead and take a good look at her face here. This would be a more neutral expression. We can pop the front of her hair off. Pull the neutral one out, leaving her with that monstrosity. Now we can do a little happy-ish face. Oh. Her pigtails are also articulated, and I didn't realize that earlier because I was afraid to touch them too much. They still feel like they want to break, but it does appear that they are on a peg. Just saying. Oh, shoot. Alright, so... Here we go. And there we have her more happy face. And now we have her angry face. Kind of like this one actually the best, I think. The angry looking one. So her hands have various positions. Slapping hand with thumb out, slapping hand with thumb in. Or I guess this would be the throat chop hand. We have a fist. We have a pair of pointy fingers. So in that case, She can direct her little drone. That one. That's another part. That's the other open hand. That's the other slappy hand. We have 2 victory fingers. Oopsie. We have more of a split. Oh, the split hand was the one that came on her. Duh. Interestingly enough, we have a couple of gripping hands here, even with trigger fingers, but we don't have like a handgun for her. Let's take a look here. And it doesn't really look like, aside from the Neuron Blaster being on a peg there is not like anything for her to hold on to it. Unless, will that work? No. So they didn't really make it so that she could hold it in her hand. And there's no peg to stick right on her arm. So that's all we have for that. Let's go ahead and turn this back this way. By the way, there is a peg hold. I just noticed that okay, so you can actually peg this. Obviously, you know, this is the stand adapter or whatever. But how do you... So actually, if you go to put her in the stand, there's the peg here on the back of that, once that's in place. And of course, you would also peg it back here. So for her to be kind of in a flight mode, kind of appears that this is how you would be expecting to pose her if you're attaching it directly to her back there. Let's see. But if we do that, we can turn the wings like this. And we can move the guns forward. Like so. And I don't have a universal stand to use, unfortunately. The last time I got a small figure like this, it actually came with a stand, and that was a Transforming RC. I think also from Iron Factory. So, again, if you want to look at her on a stand flying this way, you would need to use the adapter on the back here. And if you wanted it more directly on her back, you have to have this lifted up out of the way. So I suspect that most people would probably go ahead and use the back adapter. I think I do, in fact, have some generic figure stands, usually with the little claw gripping arm that I think will work with this, but I don't have those on me. But anyway, that will conclude our look at the Iron Factory Girls Star Wing #1. I hope that they go ahead and, or I would assume that they're going to make both a Thundercracker version and a Skywarp version. Ramjet, Thrust, and Dirge. I would hope if they do those that they do give them different wing versions, since they have the different wings from the original ones. And also the little like other tail fins here would probably need to be replaced as well. Overall, it's a cute little figure for your collection. I would definitely say for the price, it's not a bad deal. I think it's less than $50 right now. I can't remember how much it was when I originally ordered it, but anyway, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace and love.